Who's the only one that can authorize the utilization of atomic devices?
President?
President of the United States. So, for demonstration purposes, let's assume that our adversaries have launched at us and he's informed, and almost immediately after that, he's made the decision to launch Titan. Okay, these speakers go off. The first 5 digits in that message coming in tell us that it is a launch order. So we pick up our emergency action code books, we turn to the page that says for launching, and we copy down a 35-digit structured message. When it's all through, the speakers say, "I say again," and we swap books, commander checks deputy, vice versa. When we are both absolutely convinced that we have heard exactly the same thing, it's authorization of orders to take our locks off the EWOC and take out some critical information for the launch. The first thing we have to do is we have to convince this crew that we have in fact been ordered by the President of the United States. So there's about 10 or 12 of what we call authenticator cards in here. And the second line in our message that came in is a 7-digit line, and the first 2 digits tell us which one of these authenticator cards to take. Each one of them has a 2-digit identifier. And let's assume that it's Love Pater, okay? So we crack that open, and we open it up, and then out comes a little cookie, and on that cookie is all 7 digits that must exactly match what came in on our order. That being the case, the President is the one that has ordered us to launch this missile. Next, we take out a couple of keys. We crack them open, we put yours there, Commander. Deputies over here, spring loaded to the off position. I can't turn one, jump over and turn the other. It simply will not work. Here we go again, 2 inputs for 1 output. The keys have to be turned within 2 seconds of each other and held for 5 in order to initiate the launch. We have 2 more pieces of critical information that came in with our launch. The first one was, what time do we launch? It could be right now, it may not be till tomorrow morning. We simply don't know until we take the information that came in, calculate it, and write it right across the face of the clock. What's the other piece that came in that has never been here until this point in time? The butterfly valve lock. It has never been on site until this moment. So, with that in mind, we have everything in place for the Commander. And so, you want to put your left hand on the key. I see it's time for us to launch. Give me a 3, 2, 1 turn. Turn clockwise and we'll watch the board.
Okay.
Go ahead.
3, 2, 1.
Turn. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You can now release that. There's nothing else to do. It's just like pulling the trigger on a rifle. We're not going to get the bullet back again. There simply is no oops button up here whatsoever. If we could revise it, they could revise it. That was taken off the table. Our first light is a green light that says we are launch enabled. Among other things, our butterfly valve code is correct. Next, activate batteries. 2 dry 28-volt batteries aboard that missile are being force-fed electrolyte, and in 28 seconds, it will tell us that auxiliary power has started. It does not need us for electricity anymore. That 760-ton door is moving. We don't have any idea, but it just broke the tipsies and told us that we are silo soft, vulnerable to our enemy's attack. Next, guidance go. Check with the MAGAC for the last time. All systems functioning as designed. We're putting water to the bottom of the silo, propellants to the first stage engine, and we will have ignition. And once we have ignition, 4 seconds later, the 4 ignition bolts holding the missile down to the thrust mount are detonated, and the missile goes up out of the silo, and in about 30 to 35 minutes, target 2 will disappear. Well, that's all well and good because it only took 58 seconds from the time you turned the key to the time we had that in the air. If we had been ordered to launch immediately from the time those speakers went off till the time we could put out of the silo, it was maybe 3.5 to 5 minutes. So, what does all this come down to? How did we convey this to our adversaries? Well, we had a testing program. And let's assume that we had been online for 10 years. The legitimate question is, if you turned that key, Commander, would that thing fly? So what they did was they came in and completely reversed the loading process. They took everything, including the propellants themselves. Everything except the reentry vehicle, took it out to Vandenberg Air Force Base out in California, reloaded it into a silo, and put it down there. And when we had told everybody in the world exactly what time we were going to launch, we turned the key. And there was a ship about 12 miles off the coast. Our adversaries were out there. They noted that it had been launched. They called their sister ship at Kwajalein and said, They've launched, it'll be there in about, oh, maybe 25 minutes. And so sure enough, in about 25 minutes, here comes the mock re-entry vehicle, dropped right smack in the middle of that lagoon. Okay, what this conveyed to them then was that if they did decide to launch at us, they were going to have probably in the area of about 54 9-megaton thermonuclear bombs, plus a whole fleet of B-52s with atomic devices and Trident submarines. So, how do you get peace through deterrence? The deterrent end of it is showing so much violence against them if they did decide to launch at us that they dare not do it. And that's how we created peace through deterrence. An expensive operation, and these units must have done the job because we're still here. So we're going to head down to the silo and take a little closer look down there. And so, Major, there's a little memento for you.